maybe you didn't have a Valentine, but Inspiring Communities Together made sure the elderly members of the community were loved on that special day.
Did you wake up this morning and think, you know what, I want to go out in this crazy weather and plant some trees? Well, maybe you didn't, but loads of people in Salford actually did, changing the world one seed at a time.
The backing track for British superstar Ella Ayres' new song is being provided by two Salford boys. The drummer and bass guitarist are in the process of recording the track at the moment.
Hello and welcome to Salford Now. I'm Olivia Davies.
And I'm James Sweetenham. Here's what's coming up on today's programme. Valentine's is traditionally a day we spend with that special someone, but for some it can often be a lonely time for our older friends and neighbours.
Now, One Salford charity is trying to combat that, with the aim of bringing together the elderly. Lucy Hell joined them for lunch.
Inspiring Communities Together is a charitable organisation operating in Charleston and Lower Kersal. The organisation has been operating for over 5 years, and recently they branched out into other areas of Salford. So I'm here today at the Orchard Community Centre here in Salford on Langley Road, and it's open a few days a week to all members of the public. Today they've got a very special lunch on, and local members of the community are attending.
I mean, there's some people who are introverts who want their own company. But me, I don't want to be lonely. I want to get out and about while I can.
I go everywhere. So it's another day, isn't it?
You meet new friends. It's a surprise what you're going to do.
It could be organising parties, trips out, encouraging older people to come and work on our smaller lot.
According to the Age UK website, there are currently 1.4 million chronically lonely older people living in England, with many more across the rest of the UK.
Sometimes a person is just lonely and isolated. They might not look after themselves very well. They might have malnutrition.
Here at the Orchard Community Centre, Inspiring Communities Together is focusing on getting the elderly from within the community out and about.
People present at the doctors because they're lonely. It might be that there's nothing wrong with them, but they just might want a community group to go to.
For more information, visit their website at www.inspiringcommunitiestogether.co.uk.
It's not been the weather to spend time in the garden, but that hasn't put off tree planting volunteers in Salford. As part of Go Green Month, more than 600 trees were planted at David Lewis playing fields.
The hope is to make Salford a sustainable city while encouraging the entire city to fight climate change. Sri Kasbir reports.
The aim is to plant 50 million trees, and this field by Salford's Peel Park is one small part of the effort, known as the Northern Forest.
It's a belt of green that runs from Liverpool all the way through to Hull. So it covers the whole top part of the northern England, and it follows the M62. So that's the corridor of green that we're hoping to create.
Even though the weather hasn't been great today, City of Trees and Salford Uni have come together today to plant trees on the David Lewis playing fields. Those behind the initiative say the extra trees reduce the risk of floods while storing carbon, making people happier and even creating jobs.
We're using like a different mixture of different trees, so that if like a tree disease comes in like a few years' time, then it doesn't kill up the whole forest. So I think we've got like 6 or 7 like different types of trees.
I'm retired. I'd give it something to do, you know.
This helps the environment. It's a good way to be a bit active. And generally it's a good thing to be doing.
The several hundred trees planted today are just a stepping stone to increasing the North's woodland cover. But it doesn't stop there. Tomorrow the volunteers will be at Dunham Massett and say they won't stop until that target of 50 million is achieved. Sheree Casbier, Salford Now.
Salford boys Jamie Walton and Ryan Kanan are working on an upcoming track with multi-award winning Ella Ayres.
The superstar producer overheard the boys rehearsing in the studio, and they're now working on the backing track for her new song.
She's the multi-award winning British superstar working with 2 lads from Salford. Jamie and Ryan were poached by Ella Ayres' producer to provide a backing track for her new song.
It's it's really more of a case of who you know and who's reliable. You know, we're there, available, we use the same space as him. He knows, he's heard us play, so he knows, he's confident that we can do a good enough job.
Bass player Jamie believes that being in the right place at the right time has played a huge role in landing this opportunity.
What we'll do is, what we've done here is we'll put the song on, and it'll be a case of doing short snippets of different ideas, rather than doing trying to play like the whole track. You just do like 8 bars that sounds good, and then you think of a different thing and do another 8 bars. And that's what all this is. I can jump into the show, I can actually put it on. So like, obviously you can't hear the track, but he can hear it, and this will be his like 8 bars or whatever, and something that he's doing. And obviously he's done another take, so just put the song on a load of times, and it'll all go off, and then they'll sort of sort through what they want.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury go to war for the second time this Saturday night with the heavyweight championship of the world on the line. What does this fight mean for mental health awareness?
Well, it means absolutely everything, Liv. Tyson Fury is a man who, against all the odds, beat Vladimir Klitschko for the world titles 3 years ago. Unfortunately, though, he ended up in a world of depression, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, suffered from bipolar disorder as well. Everybody said he was a finished fighter, but he came back against all the odds, lost all the weight, took on 2 really easy fights, then he jumped straight back in with the world heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder. Wilder, the American, was fighting on home turf and is potentially the hardest puncher in boxing history. It was a huge ask for Tyson Fury to get through the fight, but he did. Miraculously, though, he ended up going down in the 12th round and then rose to his feet, beat the count, and ended up, in most people's eyes, winning the fight. Unfortunately, boxing is a very, very corrupt sport, meaning he didn't get the decision on the judges' scorecards. Obviously, he's got a rematch this weekend in Vegas. He's going to be looking to put this one right. So, Salford football, there's a lot going on. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Well, guess who is going to Wembley?
I think it's Salford City.
Yeah, Salford City is going to Wembley. They earned the Leasing.com trophy final against Portsmouth after beating Newport County in a dramatic penalty shootout last night. What do you think this means for Salford FC to go all the way to Wembley?
Well, it means the world. Wembley's the best ground in the country to play it, and Salford City, a relatively new club, they've got the likes of, you know, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham at the helm, bringing this club forward. I think they're going to up in like League One, potentially the Championship. Wembley's a huge game to play in. Graham Alexander's fantastic. I'm from Preston. I remember the job he used to do for them back in the day. He's an absolutely exceptional manager. He does great things to boost the morale of the team. And of course, they picked up James Wilson from Manchester United as well. He's a fantastic striker. So I think we've got a little bit from Graham Alexander, and I'd like to hear from him now.
For me, if a penalty goes over the line, it's a good penalty. Bruins, I thought, set the standard. You know, I had his name straight down, so he was always going to take one. That's why we brought him on that stage. But you know, I asked him what number he wanted to go to, because I know he missed the first one in the semi-final. He said he'd take the first one. We remember the game down here. I think it was November, and it was, you know, bad weather that day as well. But they came down, and I know they were excited about tonight. You know, because the supporters have been speaking to me after games, you know, in the previous weeks about, you know, getting to Wembley. So we're so happy for them, you know, because they follow us all over the country in their numbers, and we're delighted to win tonight.
And now over to Molly Louise with your weekly weather update.
If you haven't had enough of the rain yet, you're in luck, because there's plenty to come in the next week. But watch out for your brollies though, because there's plenty of wind as well. Woo! With a high of 11 degrees and a low of 2 degrees. Take advantage of the weather and visit the Manchester Gin Festival, or head over to the Imperial War Museum to meet some veterans.
A little windy out there, didn't it, Liv? A little windy out there.
I was walking down here today, actually, and it's the first time in my life I was nearly swept off my feet from the wind. I've never felt that before.
I mean, I'm a man who usually wears shorts to university, but I'll be honest with you, even I'm a bit scared to go out in that weather.
Honestly, it's absolutely horrific, and I really do hope, because I really want summer, and I can't stand the rain anymore.
I actually prefer the rain to the summer. I'm more of a winter man, personally, but out there, there's not a lot you can do. It's a bit cold. Your weekend is written off. There's no going out. You're staying indoors.
Well, you can go out clubbing if you want to.
Well, you can go out clubbing, but you've got to make the trip into town. It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it?
Right. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
If you'd like to, please follow us on Salford Now and Instagram at Salford Now News.
See you later.
Goodbye.